An Australian man living in Texas is in legal limbo after the ATF raided his gun parts shop over silencers that are perfectly legal under Texas state law. They seized his property, his passports, his money, and told him that he could never return to Australia. And he's still under their thumb almost 2 years later, despite never being charged with a crime. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Shout out to Lee Williams over at the Second Amendment Foundation, as he has been doing some really amazing work bringing some of these cases to light recently. Today's story is about 51-year-old Peter Brennan, an Australian man living in Texas with his wife and son. They moved here because, as Brennan puts it, Australia is a communist country. But he still has children living there, and thanks to the ATF has been told he can never return to see them. So, one day, Brennan, his wife, and their 8-year-old son pulled up to their Texas shop in their old pickup, and suddenly, a group of 7 vehicles surrounded them with a mini army of tactical guys jumping out. The agents immediately tried separating the family and tried to get the kid away from his parents and even pointed guns at him. Then, some agents with man buns handcuffed Brennan and threw him in the back of a car. The man buns aren't necessarily pertinent here, really, but you know. Then the agents tore apart his shop. They seized buffer tubes, AR parts, aluminum blanks that were literally just hunks of metal, CNC tools, and took the hard drive from his CNC machine that he had just bought for $170,000. They also took all of the family's money, passports, phones, and computers and shut down Brennan's YouTube channel, leaving him with nothing but $40 in his pocket. Then the ATF told them that they would arrest the couple if they tried to go to their embassy, and also told them they could never get new passports. Now, what did the ATF say triggered all of this? Silencers that are completely legal under Texas state law. But before I get into the details, this video is brought to you with the help of RMA, the king of armor. RMA is owned and operated by a Marine and law enforcement veteran. The company has been making body armor in the US from all American materials with technology previously only available to government agencies, and has been bringing that armor to law-abiding citizens for 12 years. RMA is the first company to also manufacture and sell true female armor to the public. But RMA isn't limited to women's armor. They have 24 different hard plates and 2 soft armor products, including their Level 4 Model 1165, which is the lightest American-made Level 4 plate in its price range, and all of their armor comes with a free incident replacement. So special thanks to RMA for sponsoring today's video. To check out the entire RMA lineup, use the link down in the description. Now, back to Mr. Brennan. After he opened up shop, a lot of customers came in asking about silencers. And in September 2021, Governor Greg Abbott signed Texas House Bill 957, which reads, "Not subject to federal regulation. A firearm suppressor that is manufactured in this state and remains in this state is not subject to federal law or federal regulation, including registration under the authority of the United States Congress to regulate interstate commerce. B, a basic material from which a firearm suppressor is manufactured in this state, including unmachined steel, is not a firearm suppressor and is not subject to federal regulation under the authority of the United States Congress to regulate interstate commerce as if it actually were a firearm suppressor. Marketing of a firearm suppressor. A firearm suppressor manufactured and sold in this state must have the words 'Made in Texas' clearly stamped on it." So, Brennan started making silencers following the letter of state law, including signs on the window declaring it a location where silencers were made from 100% Texas materials. And according to him, about 80% of the customers buying them were law enforcement. They said that ATF previously even came to the shop and didn't ask a single question about the suppressors. The guy only cared about the AR braces that Brennan had for sale. Now, that same agent was at the raid, and he told Brennan, "Well, I wish that I had asked about the suppressors." Then that agent interviewed Brennan's wife. She pointed out the fact that he had been there a few weeks before the raid and never told Brennan to stop making the silencers, at which point the agent ended the interview and turned the camera off. Now, of course, the ATF didn't return any calls about this story, but they did issue a 2021 open letter to FFLs after the Texas silencer bill was passed. It reads, HB 957 claims to exempt silencers, also known as suppressors, that are manufactured in Texas and which remain in Texas from federal firearms laws and regulations, including the federal registration requirements. However, because HB 957 directly conflicts with federal firearms laws and regulation, federal law supersedes HB 957. In summary, all provisions of the Gun Control Act and the National Firearms Act, including their corresponding regulations, continue to apply to FFLs and other persons in Texas. In other words, the ATF is saying that state law doesn't apply. It also reminds Texas residents that they need an FFL to make or deal in NFA items. But Brennan does not have an FFL because he never made or sold firearms, and silencers are not considered NFA items under Texas law. He even confirmed this with a sheriff ahead of time. So you would think, then, that if they went through all the trouble of raiding Brennan and considered him this big bad threat or hardened criminal, so much that they took all of his stuff and told him he can never leave the country to see his family ever again, but they'd charge him with a crime, right? Well, the ATF sent the couple a forfeiture letter and then went silent. In fact, their lawyer hasn't even heard from the ATF in 15 months. The ATF never sent any kind of notification before the raid, no cease and desists, nothing. Still haven't charged them with a crime, and still haven't returned the couple's passports. Brennan and his wife are now scratching out a living making AK products and ear protection for cops, rangers, and wildlife officers, but they're still trying to recover from everything they lost. And unfortunately, they have little recourse and no way to truly fight the government. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this video. I wish that I had some kind of GoFundMe or Give, Send, Go to present you guys with or something here, but I don't know of one. Granted, the Air Marshal's story, his wife emailed me after the fact and provided their Give, Send, Go, which I ended up putting up on Twitter and up on a post in YouTube. If I find anything out to help this guy, I will let you guys know, but as of right now, I'm not aware of anything. In the meantime, you guys know the drill for all of the algorithm things. Please do them. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there and happy shooting.